Hello students, today in this session we will discuss different important points related with the computer studies, right? So standard 12 English medium computer studies batch for science, commerce and arts stream students. This is the second session and this is the second Sunday. In this Sunday we will discuss the second chapter, and the second chapter, it is a 10 marks chapter and its name is Cascading style sheets and JavaScript, right? So let's start this chapter, CSS and JavaScript. So in this session we discuss the first point, it is CSS, Cascading style sheet, and the second one, it is a JavaScript. So here JavaScript and CSS, these two topics are given, and then it is 10 marks. Multiple choice questions comes in this board exam. So let's start this first point, it is CSS. So it will allow to specify the different styles, and you can use the different types of visual elements of the website by using CSS. So by using this CSS, it will help us to keep the different types of informations or the content of document. You can separate it from the details, how it is displayed in their website. So this detail, how to display the documents, it is called style, and it will specify the different appearance of the particular page elements on the screen, right? So the style, it is separate from the content, so it will help us to avoid the duplications in the coding by using the CSS, and by using the CSS, the same content with the different styles for the different purposes, and you easily maintain code when you use CSS, so it will very helpful. Okay, so what is the difference between the HTML and the CSS? So here one example is given. Example, it is related with if we want to contain of the some paragraph, like by using the paragraph tag, so it appears in the board, then we have to insert the bold tag every time in your paragraph, right? So the paragraph tag, it is appears in the source code if the website is large, right? Or you create a big website by using HTML. So repeating the tag every time becomes, it is the tedious and the time consuming job. But when you use CSS, right? So we can set all the elements, type, appearance and in the styles as per our choice. And if we have more number of paragraph tag in the website, then we use CSS and we can set the styles of all the paragraph tags once instead of writing many times, right? So this is the difference between the CSS and HTML. Okay, so HTML, it is used to describe the information, right? And when you use CSS describe the styles of the elements in the document, not for its content. So using the CSS, we can control the different types of fonts or the font types, elements, colors, pad spaces, margins, element positions and many more in your website. In short, you format your website by using CSS. Okay, so how to write a syntax when you use CSS and add CSS with the JavaScript, okay, or in the HTML. So first of all, see what is syntax. So CSS consists of the special symbols. That symbols, it is known as rules, and the CSS rules has two main parts. Which are the two main parts? The first one, it is the selector and one or more declarations of that CSS. Okay, so selector means the different types of HTML elements, means different types of HTML text. It is you can add it, and declarations consist of the different properties. It is associated with the HTML's elements it is used in the selector and its corresponding value. This is the some general syntax is given. Selector means you write the HTML elements here, right? Example is given H1, right? And properties, it is called color, and you add the properties value, right? So color is green. So H1 it is called the selector, properties, and here the example is color, and the value it is green, right? So this is the syntax of CSS. Okay, so we can easily add the CSS in the Composer software. How to add? So here edit and preference is given, right? So it is the old textbook, that's why it is not edit, but here it is tools, right? In the tools menu, preferences option is given, and you use the checkbox and enable this CSS styles instead of the HTML elements and the different types of attributes, right? So this is the window. Here you can enable your CSS, right? So when you use Composer software, by default the checkbox is enabled, right? So don't worry, be happy. Okay, so here one example is given. Assume that we want to design a website, and if you want to create heading, then all the web pages should follow the particular style, right? So for that H1 it is used. So H1 it is inserted in the web page, and you have to follow this rule. So how to create a style rules for CSS, right? So in this website the font is Times New Roman, uppercase is, alignment center line, background color light blue, and border it is dotted border. So how you can set by using the CSS. Okay, so first of all open a new file, Control N is used, right? And in the Composer software. After that go to the composition toolbar and CSS button is given, right? So just click on it and it will display this CSS style sheet dialog box. Select the styles apply for all the elements of the times and click on OK button. After that use this option, right? And when you click OK button, it will display style sheet dialog box with the for the H1. So you create a style rules for that, right? So 7 tabs are given: general, text, background, border, box, list, and oral. Okay, and then first of all you add text. So text related information is given. You select and format your text by using this option, right? After that go to the next one, add the background, right? You have two options. First one it is select the color or add background images. Opacity option is given, 1 for enable, right, clearly visible, and 0 for invisible. Okay, and then click on OK button. Go to next, select color, right? So different types of colors are given. You select that colors and for the background, right? So when you select colors, it will display this color in the hexadecimal code. Okay, and then go to the next option, it is borders. So in this border all 4 sides use the same border style, right? Top, right, bottom, and left, right? So when you select this option, first you define it, right? So it enable in all sides, right? And separate options also given. You select it and click on OK button. Okay, then so when you select these options, it will display in this general tab all selected informations. It is display, right? So style rules are displayed in this general tab, and press OK button, right? So it will display your output. Just type, select this option heading 1, right, in the formatting toolbar 1, and when you type Gujarat tourism, it will display this output in the Composer software, right? Save it with the css.html, so it will display in the web browser, right? It is so simple, practical. Advantages of CSS. Here from the above discussion we says that CSS allows to set the different types of formats, and we use website without changing underlying structure, right? So CSS, it is very useful when you create a website and Composer software is given, and it is very useful to use different types of CSS options and the JavaScript. Okay, so by separating the different types of layouts and format the properties of the website from underlying logical structures, we can make changes in the website without fear of accidentally changing the data, right? So as a website designer, right, so this job is made easy to change the different types of styles and elements. He only needs to make modifications in the CSS file, right? So if you want to modify or if you want to change the format, use CSS and change the layout of your web page as well as the website, right? So it is very useful as a website designer, right? And CSS, it is the less code compared to HTML, right? So most important, it is your web page or website load faster. Using the CSS makes the website design quick and efficient. Okay, there is a disadvantage. It is written in this textbook, right? So CSS, it is compatibility. It is vary with the different web browsers, right? Means if the web browser will not support CSS, then the style sheets cannot display to the user. Okay, but this compatibility issue, it is not in any web browser. So nowadays different types of web browsers are available, and that web browsers, it is supports CSS, right? So here this is the 2015 textbook, right, not updated by GSB board. Okay, and technology is updated regularly, right? So this is not an advantage, right? Disadvantage. Okay, and next one, it is the JavaScript. So let's start this point. It is very important if you want to create a website with the validation, right? So JavaScript is very useful as a website designer. HTML, it is used to create a web page and different types of contents. If you want to write, then CSS is used, and you create a static web page, and when you load this web page, the browser render them, and you could not change, right? So when the website is displayed on the web browser, right? In short, you create the static web page. If you want to add the styles, then CSS is used, and if you want to create interactive web page, then better visuals design, right? So you use this JavaScript, right? So the demand of more interactivity creates a need for a new web page programming language, and it is developed by Netscape, right? And it is a scripting language that allows you to add programming aspects to your website pages, right? So what is that a scripting language? JavaScript. So JavaScript, it is a scripting language. It is a very simple scripting language, lightweight programming language, and it does not contain the different types of advanced programming functionalities of the different types of high level languages like the C or Java programming, right? So main use of this JavaScript is used in web pages to improve the different types of designs, and you can validate a form, right? And you can add interactivity in this website pages. Okay, so today most of all the web browsers, right, like the Mozilla, Google Chrome, Safari, Internet Explorer, or Google Chrome, or the different types of other web browsers like Microsoft Edge, it will support the JavaScript, right? And when you use this JavaScript web page, it is not longer remain static, but it includes the coding allowed the interactivity with the user. Okay, control the web browsers dynamically and create the HTML contents, right? So these are the different benefits of JavaScript. Okay, and the composer software, it will supports JavaScript. Okay, so when the user enter data in the form, he might be leave some space of the important field, right? So when user just add the text, or if the text is not entered by the user, right, so message it is displayed by the JavaScript, right? So that is the use of the JavaScript, right? So this validations it is required, right? And you have to add validations by using JavaScript, and will restrict the users from making the different types of mistakes. For example, if user enter 7 digits in the pin code number, so as a JavaScript writer, you display the message, please enter valid 6-digit number. Okay, so that message appears by using the JavaScript, right? So when the user enters wrong data or leaves the field empty, error message should be generated and the form should not be submitted. This is the main purpose of the JavaScript. The most common form of the JavaScript application student is the client-side scripting language, right, which runs inside the web browser, and it is used to validate the data entered in the HTML forms on the client side before sending it to the server. Okay, so these are the script generally check. JavaScript generally check the following things. These are the different following things. The first one, it is has the user left any required field empty, has user entered valid proper email address, check whether the content of the two fields are the same or not, or has the user entered valid or proper date. Okay, has the user entered text in the numerical field, right? So these are the different types of validations, and many more validations are there. You can check it and then fill the complete form, right? So this is the use of JavaScript. Before we start learning about how to validate the form, let's first learn how to write a JavaScript code. Okay, so for writing the JavaScript code, first of all, JavaScript code run within HTML web pages, right? So in between HTML codes you write your JavaScript codes. Okay, and JavaScript it can be put directly inside the web page code and by using the separate section. Okay, the JavaScript code, it is inserted into the HTML page by using this tag. The tag name is script tag. Okay, add the script starting tag, write your HTML and the CSS related informations, and the script. Okay, so line between this script, it is contain the JavaScript code, right? Remember that the JavaScript, it is a case sensitive language, right? So this is very important. Okay, and JavaScript, you can place it in between or inside the body or the head section, right? But generally preferable that you can place this HTML tags in between head and slash head. Okay, so script tags tells the web browser to interpret all the text between the tags, script tags as JavaScript. Okay, so here one practical is given, Java source code file is given, right? So you write in between the HTML code, right? So this is the script tag, it is only one line script, right? So between the HTML tags, right, you add JavaScript, right? So it is a one line JavaScript. Okay, so here the script tag we have written in the single statement. So single statement, it is document.write hello students. In this JavaScript, the string to be displayed is passed as variable to that particular method, and that method, it is the document.write. Okay, and the semicolon, it is must at the end of the semicolon. It is that statement, it is optional in the JavaScript, but the putting the semicolon, it is a good programming practice. So you put a semicolon at the end of that particular statement, so here it will display. Okay, and the next one, it is if you want to create a new file, right, and in that file you create a name and a text box and the submit button, right, and when user write text, it will accept that particular name, and if user not write anything and click on the submit button, it will display message, please enter valid name, right. So that is the script, right. So if you want to add this type of script, first of all, in the Composer software, you design the name, text box and the submit button by using form and define form. Okay, after that, and in the form properties dialog box, you write like this: gs1.html, and select the method post and click on OK button. Okay, after that, in this advanced edit dialog box, when you click on the advanced edit dialog box, it will display this property editor. Go to the JavaScript event, and then here you select on submit, and in the value you write return space validate form and round bracket and press OK button, and then in this source code you write this script, right. So script is not properly displayed, and so use your textbook and write this script, okay, in this source section, and when you press the OK button, right, and open your script in the web browser, it will display message if user not write any text, and click on the submit button, right. So this is the sample form. Simple form is given, you easily create it, and I already create one video related with this practical, right. So refer this video. Okay, after that, the script text, right, if you want to define it, then these are the different methods I use. We learn one by one. Functions, validate form, after that we define variable x, after that conditional statement if, then built-in functions, that is alert function, and object name document, and the method name focus, right. So let's discuss each of them in brief. So first one, it is the function validate form. This function, it is reusable block of code that perform the particular task, right, and a function, it is defined by the keyword function, and the block of code, it is written inside curly brackets. Okay, so here the validate form, it is the function name. Here the function name is hello. Okay, and this is the example. Okay, so JavaScript provides the different types of built-in functions. That functions, it is the alert function. What is the use of alert function? It is the function take the text and display it into the alert box, right. So alert message, it is displayed with the rectangle box. Here one example is given, that is function hello, and in the curly bracket write alert hello students. So in the output, it will display hello students on the web browser window. Okay, and the function will execute by an event or when it is called inside the source code. Okay, so function can call anywhere from or within the source code. So you write anywhere in this source code, right, and call it in this HTML, right. And the next one, it is the use of the return statement will stop the functions from executing and return the specific value, right. So for that we use return statement. This is the return statement you write. Okay, and in our example functions validate form, it is called the click event and submit button. So when the user click on the submit button, which is known as event, right, and it is loaded in the statement inside that functions, it will execute, right. So function return false that value, right. So this is the validate function, right, and it is very useful, right. So a reusable block, and you perform the particular task, and for that you use this option, right. So this function. Next one, it is the event. So it is useful for creating interactive web pages, right, and which responds to the actions performed by the user, right? And interactions between the user and the web page, it will cause the browser to generate the different types of events, right? So events related table is given, right? And table and its description. So about event, right? Loading the image is cancelled, blur element such as the radio button, it is becomes inactive. After that, click event, user clicks on the form element, change event, values of the form field, it is changed by the user. Error, error event, that is error occurs during the loading of a document or image. Then focus event, element such as button becomes active. The next one, load event, document or image it is loaded on the web browser. Then mouse out, then mouse moves off the element. Then next, mouse over, it is moves over the element. Reset event, form fields are reset to the default values, right? Next one, select event, to select the form in the field. Submit, user submits a form by using this event. And the unload of event, it is users leaves a page, right? So these are the most popular events, it is display in this table. Okay, after that, when event occurs, the specific in the JavaScript code execute in response to the given situations, and this JavaScript code, it is called the event handler. Then this handle, it is the name are kept in the same as the name of that event, right? For example, here we will have the event handler on click, right? So click event have the event handler, its name is on click with the round bracket. Likewise, submit event will have the event handler on submit. Okay, so these are some examples of the event and event handlers, right? Useful when you create a JavaScript. Okay, so these are some other examples are given related with the different types of event and event handlers. Okay, the next one, it is the variable, useful to create a JavaScript. Okay, in our example, inside the functions we use this function, that is validate form, and we have a statement. The statement, it is the variable or var x is equal to document.js1.name.value. So what is this statement, right? So we declared the variable, that variable name is x variable, right? It is given here on the left side. Okay, variable, it is container for storing data, use of variable. If you want to store data, we use variable. Remember that the variable in the JavaScript, it is also case sensitive. So when you define small letter x, it is not same as the variable capital X, right? So variable can store the numbers, strings or text, right? And JavaScript, we can declare the variable by using the keyword. That keyword name is var keyword, it is written here, var space x, right? And the examples are given, var x is equal to 3, var y is equal to hello students, and var z is equal to hello students. Okay, so this is about the variable. The next one, it is the if statement. We must familiar with the conditional statement, that is if, right? And the conditional statement, if it is used to change the flow of the program, right? So if you want to change the flow of program, we use if condition, right? So student is pass or student is fail, right? So for that we use this condition, above 18 years or below 18 years, right? So conditions, if you want to add a condition, then we use if statement, right? So it will use to change the flow of that program. We are using the if statement, right? So this is, it is written here in this paragraph. Okay, let's come to the next one. It is the document object model, right? And it may want to use JavaScript to control the web browser. So if you want to control the web browser dynamically by using the JavaScript document object model, it is used. Okay, so you may want to change the web page or control the elements of the web page. To control the web browser's window or web page, we use BOM, right? So that is the browser object model. All the web browsers, any web browser, it is splits into the different parts, right? And that can be accessed by using JavaScript. So by using the JavaScript, you access any part of the web browser window, right? So this part, it is known as browser object model, and the hierarchy is given in this screen, right? So windows and the frames, parents and the self and the top. Okay, after that further divided into the history, documents and the location. If you have to create form, then go to the documents form, and the different types of buttons you create by in the form, online form. After that, links are given, anchor options are given, right? And using the online forms, you create radio buttons, text areas, buttons, right? Text check boxes. After that, you create passwords, reset button, select and options buttons you created. So right, this is the hierarchy of the browser object model. Useful, right? So if you want to access any part of the browser, right? Browser object model, it is used, and the description is given in this paragraph. Okay. After that, next one, it is the focus method. So we have already also used the method that name is focus method. It is used to apply the focus on the particular elements of the form, right? So after the user gets the alert message calling the focus method, and the cursor will place inside the element, and a particular element will be highlighted. So here the name element will be focus, right? So here one example is given, that is the name and the text box, after that and the submit button. So this is the output of this web browser, and it will display the focus method, right? So elements will be highlighted and it is placed inside that particular box. Okay, so click and alert message, it is if the name is empty, then it will display this message. Okay, and you must have observed that while filling the form on the internet, some fields are marked with the red color, right? Red color asterisk marks, it is there, right? So this is the indications to the user that it is compulsory field and which should not be kept empty, right? Means it is a mandatory field, you have to fill compulsory, right? And let's now add another field. That field, it is related with the pin code, right? So we validate it by using the different options, right? So this is the criteria. So user should not keep the field empty first, that is the first condition. Then second condition is only numbers are allowed, characters are not allowed. And the third one, it is the pin code should be 6-digit long, right? So for that we write the script, right? And the script and one video is available in my YouTube channel, right? So please check and perform this JavaScript and create this type of form, right? Name text box and pin code text box and submit button create in the Composer software, and write the script in the source code and execute it, right? So if you not understand properly, then go to and refer my that video. Okay, next one, it is NaN, means NaN stands for not a number, and it is most commonly used numeric function, right? And here the function NaN value, it will determine whether the value is not a number, right? And it returns true if the value is not a number, and false if the value is number, right? And it is very simple. If number is given, right, so NaN, number is given, returns false, right? As a value 1, 2, 3 is number, and is not a number, it will return text, then it will return true, right? Because this is not a number, right? So that's why it will return true, and the value hello is not a number. Okay, so simple. Then this way you create a name and text box and pin code and text box and submit button, right? So different types of options are given, right, and validate it by using these options, and you use this is and an function, and this is the output of the browser, right. So text is written but pin code is not written, so it will display please enter pin code properly. Okay, the next one, and this is the source code, it is given, so you add the source code in the Composer software source view. Okay, JavaScript to display the appropriate message to the user, right, and use the script and add into the Composer software and display message on the web browser, right. And there is one video available in my YouTube channel, so please refer that video and perform this practical. Okay, I will not explain in detail here. Okay, next one, if you want to create a registration form, right, so registration form with the different types of validations. If user not write text, then display message, right. If user not write first name, middle name, last name, it will display message. If user not select gender field, then display message. If user not select any hobby, then display message. After that, if user not write text in the address bar or select a city, then it will display message. For that, the different types of options are given and the screenshots are given in this chapter, right. So this is the last script, right, and you use the script and create an online registration form, right, for the first name, middle name, last name. After that, radio buttons and submit radio buttons, and for the hobby fields and for the address and for the drop down list, right. So detailed script is given. Okay, it is useful if you want to create a form, right, with the validations, right. So these are the variables are selected, and this is the last screen, right. If user not fill a proper name, so it will display message. Okay, different types of messages are displayed, it is given in this text box. Okay, and this is the final form, right. So this is the end of this chapter.